You see, at the most fundamental level, we're all one.
So you think the Democratic Party cares about black people? Believe it or not, Rex, I think that tweet is part of the problem. Do you feel like we could have addressed this homeless issue much sooner? You have to speak a word, make it a good one.
Okay, let's go.
So it's February, which means there's love in the air. And if you are looking for the perfect gift, I think I might have just the person on the show for you right now, especially if you're trying to drop a hint about diamonds. So joining me right now is Altaf Amlani, and he is a jeweler, and the name of your diamond company is
Blue Diamond?
Blue Diamond.
Yes.
So we're going to talk all about diamonds and love and what diamonds mean with the symbol of love. So thank you so much for joining me on the show. And let's just start. Let's go way back. How did you get into the jewelry business?
Sure. So my father was in the business, and initially I was thinking of going in the direction of law. And I ended up doing a summer with my dad, and I saw all these people from, it was in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, very kind of cosmopolitan, people from all over the world, different languages, and looked like they were having a brawl verbally, and then at the end there was money. And I said, I can live with that. And it just kind of intrigued me, the different personalities, the different languages, the different cultures coming together, transactions. So that was my sort of entrance into the business. But my dad was strictly a wholesaler. He only sold to other stores, other dealers, imported, manufactured, particularly strong in the engagement in the diamond area. And he wanted me to learn each aspect of the business. And so there's 6, 7 different aspects of making a ring. You start with drawings, and then you make a wax. Now we do it with CAD, computerized drawing. So technology has entered our field too.
Right.
It's an ancient art, but we are modernizing it a little bit. And then you make it in metal. Casting is what we call it. We clean it, we polish it, and then we embellish it with diamonds. So my dad wanted me to learn each aspect. I didn't have to be an expert at each one, because the guys and the women that are doing this, they've been doing it 20, 30 years. But at least enough understanding to know what is good quality, what is the best that we can do. So that was one sort of my training. And then there was one day where my dad felt I was ready to handle a customer. So he said, okay, son, I'm going to go lunch with your mom. And he is a very good client. He has 10 stores. So when I come back, I'm expecting a nice big order. So he left. When he came back, he saw cappuccinos and croissants and us talking about everything. So he pulls me over and he says, so I'm hearing a lot of voices, but I'm looking for an invoice. Is there one? That's when we discovered I enjoy people
Right.
much more than I enjoy even all the gemology and the metallurgy. It's all interesting, but the most interesting for me is people. So that's when I decided that I need to open up a store that's open to the public, specialize maybe in custom work, because that gives me more opportunity to listen and talk to people, because there's more meetings and discussions of what they want, their inspiration, their dream. So that led me to then open my own stores. And so that's how Blue Diamond itself was born. And
Why did you pick the name Blue Diamond?
what a great question. So I had 2 things in my life that impacted how I look at the world. So the first one was that I was born in East Africa, in Uganda.
Okay.
And Uganda had intrinsically tremendous diversity, 18 different tribes.
Right.
All speaking different languages. They look different. They ate different. Their cultures were different. So there was a lot of diversity. Also, it was a new British colony. So there was people coming from all over the Commonwealth, the British Commonwealth, to see this new colony, to vacation, to maybe do business and find their opportunity. So that added a whole nother layer of diversity. So my parents always said to us, look, when you go to school, you go to parks, you go to events, you're going to see people of every color, every look, every language. They're going to be eating different things. But remember, at the most fundamental level, we're all one. And then I went off to England to go to school at the age of 11. While in England, at the age of 14, I had my first physics course.
Okay.
And this physics teacher said, do you know what physics is? We said, yeah, Newton, laws of motion, some formulas. I'm sure Einstein's going to be in there somewhere. And she says, yes, it's all of that. But it is almost like listening to God explain how the universe works. So that intrigued me. So I kind of became a little obsessed with physics. I was away from my family, so I was like, I had time and a desire to know truth, what's happening in the world. Why am I here at the age of 11, you know? So one day I find myself in a lecture hall where the professor was explaining what Stephen Hawking had kind of described about the nature of the universe. So a lot of it was very complicated and beyond my intellectual capacity at that point. But the part that I did understand very clearly was, he said, you see, if we had access to lenses to see at the quantum level, going down the scale, below a molecule, below an element, below atoms, 4 or 5 levels down, we would not see separation. We would see one big ocean of connected strings of energy. So he said, you see, at the most fundamental level, we are all one. And that resonated and gave me this picture of this beautiful handshake between what ancient sages had said about the nature of the universe, spiritual masters, thinkers, philosophers, including my parents, and what the pinnacle of science at the quantum physics level espoused by one of the brightest minds after Einstein, Stephen Hawking. And I saw this beautiful handshake and between the two different sources of knowledge. And I felt, this feels like truth. And if it really is truth that you are a part of me and you and I are one, then how I treat you is very, very directed by me seeing you as a part of me.
Right.
Because if you're right here and you are me, I'm going to treat you with love and kindness and integrity. So I felt like I want to offer an experience that is very unusual in the jewelry business, similar to a blue diamond being unusual in the diamond world. And because my dad was a wholesaler, part of my job after handling that client, he said, all right, now you're going to go out and meet these 30 stores that I supply to. And so I would bring them diamonds for their clients, and I would sit off to the side and kind of just listen to how they presented. And I felt they were all nice, but none of them rose to the lofty level of what I wanted, a cozy living room type space where it felt safe for them to explore and see what they like and don't like, be very transparent if there was a budget or whatever, and feel safe and don't feel any pressure to make a decision. Take your time, enjoy, explore. And so I said, you know what, the experience I want to offer is definitely going to be something different. And so why not a blue diamond as the name, because it's also unusual in the diamond world.
I like that.
So that's the significance of the name Blue Diamond.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story. I have to go back to what you said though about being born in Uganda.
Yes.
Because I think we're at the point now where education and information is so widely spread. I think a lot of us know how specifically Africa is exploited, and the diamond industry is definitely a part of that.
Yeah.
So how does one who's educated and has the knowledge and knows basically the turmoil, there's also a blood diamond. I know you're going with blue diamond, but there's a blood diamond. But especially someone like me who's very pro-Black and I care about my people, why would I buy a diamond?
Yes. That's a very, very good question. So things have improved over time as a result of your age group, millennials, basically saying, look, we want things responsibly sourced. And because I lived there, I was born there, I cared about where we sourced from. So we completely avoided any of the mines that we felt were exploiting, taking advantage of local people, not paying a fair wage, not paying a fair price. So we curated only from the mines that we felt are responsible and good citizens. Also, we wanted them to be able to restore the environment back to as much as possible, because mining makes a sense, makes a mess. And so we curated and worked with owners of mines that were responsible and were good citizens. We also carry diamonds from Canada and from Australia. We also are now one of the major dealers in lab-grown diamonds. So lab-grown, there was a time when actually lab-grown diamonds were more expensive than ground mine. But as time went on and the R&D was amortized over more units and patents expired and others began to learn how to do it, the prices have come down to now where they are half or even a third. So that's another source. If somebody is particularly concerned and wants to completely stay clear, then that's a good option, and we carry those and have a good supply of those.
And what's the difference between a diamond from Africa, Canada, and then the lab grown?
Yeah. So the mining practices are a little bit different. There's very little of kind of history of exploitation because they were newer industries. They were in the Western countries. They were not preying on vulnerable local African populations, which sadly happened, right? So there's a distinction there. In terms of the quality, they all have good quality stones. They all have poor quality stones. We source pretty much among the best that we can find, but still find good value and make it affordable for people. The stones then go to India. India has a very, very skilled labor force. My grandparents are from India, so we had good connections.
Right.
And now I would say 70-80% of all diamonds are cut in India, and we can then import them and have them at a good price.
For the you said when you are sourcing these diamonds, you're very meticulous on making sure that they are paying livable wage and they're not exploiting. But since it's coming from Africa, are any of these owned by actual Africans?
That's a great question. So they're starting to weave in positions and percentages. Also, there's a pretty good tax structure so that as diamonds are extracted, a significant amount of the revenue goes back into the country. Unfortunately, there's always a little bit of corruption and craziness. There is also in this country. Here it's called lobbying.
Very much, yes.
But
That's why we're paying $1 million for rent in Long Beach. But I digress. Go ahead.
keeping it real, right?
Right.
So a lot of it now goes back into the communities. There's also a requirement of investing in local schools and things like that.
You think they'll grow up and actually own a diamond mine at some point, though?
Wouldn't that be great? Wow.
That's always the thing for me. So
Yes.
I that's always been a point of contention. I was telling Andre, I dated a guy one time, and we ended up breaking up because I just didn't want a diamond, and he insisted that I must have a diamond. And I was like, nobody that looks like me is profiting from this, and I refuse. So for someone like me who wants I've always wanted an onyx. I have another girlfriend that has the most beautiful cubic, and I didn't know it was a cubic zirconium until she told me. Are there options outside of diamonds? And does the band matter as much as the stone, or is the stone really the most important part of the ring?
What a great question. So you remember my discussion about that there's a unified field of energy that we're all connected in. So energy is going to have a vibration, right? We feel just like when we are attracted to each other, we might call it a vibe, a feeling, but there's an energetic component to it. So we feel that science tells us that everything has energy, everything has vibration. Stones have vibration. We feel that there is a stone that is specifically for you. So what we do is, if it is diamonds for some people, or for somebody like you who said, I just want something different, and you say, I kind of lean towards an onyx. So we would show you an onyx, we would show you maybe some other stones, and we would lay them out and not tell you too much about them and let you play with it. And over the last 40 years or so of me doing this, it's never failed that if I give somebody time to be able to center, which we even help our clients to center, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How?
So I'll share. So it'll be something like this. It'll be something like, all right, Jackie, this is a very special and sacred decision that you're making. If you're going to be picking a stone for an engagement, it is a lofty, spiritual, beautiful milestone in your life. We feel that if you center and enter this particular moment in a very deliberate way, that you will be able to access your highest intelligence, your highest wisdom, that is a composition, left brain thinking, right brain thinking, and intuition. And if you will then begin to slowly drown out and lower the decibel volume on all the noise of propaganda, which you already have because you say, I want something that I want. I'm not going to go with the normal traditions for many different reasons. So you're already kind of there, and this will just take it a step further where you'll access something deep within you. We believe that there's an artist within you that in the right space, with all the noise out of the way, will come out and play and be the director that will guide you to your perfect stone that you vibe with. And a design you talked about, is the band also important? Yes. Could be white gold, could be yellow gold, could be silver, could be platinum. There's other metals that we can make, and in our store you get to choose all of that. We feel you'll find that perfect combination such that at the end of it all, when you look at it, you'll say, this represents the love that I have for myself and for my partner. So absolutely, there is a way in which you can pick any stone that you want, and they're born from the earth and a gift from the earth, and there'll be one that'll vibe with you, and that'll give you the happiness and joy and a reminder that this is the symbol of the love that you have for each other.
I feel like Blue Diamond's going to be flooded with people tomorrow. That was the most relaxing, calming moment that makes you feel good about your decision. Just having you, it just kind of made me feel like all the weight is lifted. I can make this decision comfortably.
Yes.
That's really good, because I think sometimes there's such an enormous amount of pressure that comes on getting the engagement right, getting the ring right, getting the wedding right. And it's just about the love.
Yes.
And I think that's so great that you give people a moment to just kind of
let it all
rid of
go.
all
Get
that.
rid of all that. Cut out all the noise from social media, from what you saw, even pressures. Like, look, there's people in the office that you work with, and oh, I got engaged. Well, let me see, and so that's why I tell people, let's take a few minutes and just sit, and if you don't mind, close your eyes. And go through this process, because I want you to access your authentic, true heart and mind and soul, and let that be the one that makes the decision, and it will not lead you wrong.
When you have people who don't want the traditional diamond and you say that, do you see them have like a sense of relief?
Yes, because they feel like, is it okay to say this? Are you okay to show us that? Do you think less of us? And that's where, look, the most fundamental basis of love is probably, yes, there is the heady wine of romantic new love, and it's beautiful and it's amazing. But underneath all of that, if we have the kind of love that I've talked about, which is, you have to love the other person because they are you.
Right.
If you can see that, then love flows so much easier, and it survives as the heady wine of new love wears off. We all know that happens.
It does. It does.
So then you fall back on this person that I chose to live with is an extension of me. Now that I recognize them as an extension of me, how do I want to treat them?
Mm-hmm. Now, how, like when people sometimes, especially younger people starting out, when they need something smaller, but then they reach that moment where they're ready to upgrade that ring, is it the same kind of calming moment, or is that a different conversation?
No, I think that we start with, what has happened in your life, what has caused you to now be in this position where you have more resources, you've taken care of the basics of your home, you have your microwave and your
And
TV
right, and AC.
and AC. So we will go to that and we'll say, okay, so now we're celebrating a new milestone in your life. And you may have inspirations, you may have ideas of what you want, but let's go back to that very special space where we access your highest and best wisdom. And so let's take a few minutes. Indulge me. You've been through it once with me. Let's do it again.
Yes.
It served you well the first time.
Yep.
And so, yeah, let's enter that space and just celebrate this whole new thing. And let's decide what to do with the original piece.
Yes.
You
that's
know,
a good point.
because it has sentimental value. It has all this energy with it. Of course, if you did want to use it towards your new piece, we can do that. And we'll give you fair value, what you paid, and maybe a little bit more even, because it may have grown in value over time. Or if you did want to convert it, so you're going to make your new ring, but that original piece, if it was an onyx or whatever, a sapphire, ruby, whatever it might be, we can maybe convert it into a pendant so it still kind of sits on your shoulders and on your heart. By the way, when we make a piece, because we have made the piece with so much love and intention, it's as if we've infused it with a certain energy and a blessing of good intentions. We actually take a tiny little blue diamond. Now, if we wanted to stay away from a blue diamond, we can always put in like a blue sapphire. And it's on the inside, and it's very personal, and it literally touches the inside of your ring. And the idea is that we've now infused it with a little something about what blue diamond stands for.
So, as having all this experience with love and diamonds, say if there's a gentleman out there that's thinking of proposing, do you recommend that he gets the ring first, or he proposes first and then lets her come in and have this experience that you're talking about?
Gosh, you ask very good questions. So I would say it depends on the degree of confidence the gentleman has,
Okay.
that he really knows what she likes. Because women are more and more and more independent, more and more in touch with their style, their own individual look and feel, and he wants to get it right.
Right.
Now, if he's smart, he's going to either have her look around a little bit, or even have her involved up to a certain point, so that he now knows he's at least in the right direction.
Right.
Or he's going to enlist a co-conspirator, her sister, her mom, her best friend,
Right.
and say, you go, do some exploratory, take some good notes, and then feed them to me. But more and more lately, couples are coming together.
See, I think that ruins the surprise.
It ruins the surprise, right? So what I recommend is that, if you do want to involve, then at least get a little bit of direction, and then she has to bow out.
Yes.
So that we take it between the information that she has given us. Oh, I love white gold. I don't like yellow. Or I really love yellow. Or I love rubies. Can we do a ruby? So we know we're in the right direction. And the general look and feel. And then she bows out, and then him and I take it from there. Okay. So we kind of have like a blend.
Right.
A blend of the surprise, so that she is the first one that actually gets to look at it finished, when he picks it up. So she's not involved in the details. And yet he's had the benefit of making sure he's on the right track.
Right.
But if there's any issue, like the person says, I love it, sweetie, but I wish whatever, then, we say, look, come back together.
Yes. Okay.
And we can, we have 3 locations. We're adding one now in Napa Valley,
Oh,
so
nice.
you can
You could wine
you
country.
can exactly you can wine, dine, and shine.
There you go. I like that. I like that.
Jeweler, rapper, philosopher.
I love it. I love it.
And we have every price point. So it's, and we look at humans as just another human that's a part of us. So we're indifferent
Right.
to what it is, whether it's, $100 piece or whether, we've sold 6-figure pieces, and for us, it's the same.
Yes. I think this is great. Our listeners and our viewers on YouTube, no matter what your price point is, no matter if you're in a relationship, you're single, you're like me, you have reservations about diamonds. I think we found a jeweler, Blue Diamond. It's great to know that you can have all of those things and still come and just sit down and have a conversation.
Yes.
That's going to help you get to the piece of jewelry that you want. I'm waiting on that Napa location though, but where are your other 2 locations?
Thank you. So the one in Long Beach is on 2nd Street.
Right.
And I think it's Park Avenue and Saint. So it's right there. And we have a full service repair shop too.
Oh.
So, sometimes let's say, look, maybe the last few months were difficult financially, right? We've all had that. And you maybe don't have the funds to buy a new piece. It's okay. Bring one of your older pieces. Let's fix it. Let's shine it. Let's buff it. And it takes on a whole new life. And you know what? We'll do it for absolutely free for any of your listeners. They can just walk in and say, I have this necklace. It's been a little bit of time on my shoulders or on my neck, and this ring. We'll give it an ultrasonic clean, a buffing, a steam cleaning, and it will look as good or better than the first day that you got it. And it can be a little gift for yourself or somebody that you love.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yay.
So 2nd Street and then Manhattan Beach, right on Manhattan Avenue, and also in El Segundo. And then, of course, as you said, the Napa one.
I'm waiting for that one.
You're waiting for that one? Okay.
Thank you again to Altaf Amlani for coming on the show and letting us know more about himself as well as Blue Diamond Jewelers. If you are in the market, make sure you check the description. I will have a link to his website as well as all 3 locations. But before we go, I wanted to make sure we let those of you who called our Valentine's Day love line, let your voices be heard to the ones you love. Take a listen.
Mom, happy Valentine's Day. I love you so much.
Happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart. I love you so much.
Happy Valentine's Day to my sweet family.
I would like to leave a Valentine's Day message for 5 beautiful children. 5 children that have been the definition of my genesis and a new start at a sad life, and which blossomed into an incredible life. Thank you, kiddos. You know exactly who you are, you 5 Vias kiddos. Thank you for making my life worth living. Thank you for making me happy, and thank you for making it all worth it. Love you.
Hello. I just wanted to send Valentine wishes to my friend Andrea. Hope she has a great day. Thank you.
Dear Maria, Valentine's Day meant nothing to me before you. Still means nothing to me, but I love you anyway. Happy Valentine's Day, babe. Love, Daniel.
This is a declaration of love for my 3 dogs, Charlie, Dylan, and Harry. Happy Valentine's, people. I miss you already, even though you're in front of me.
A heart full of California sunshine to Midwestern friends.
Happy Valentine's Day to my boyfriend, friends, and family who have taken care of me and loved me. I love you guys very much, and I appreciate you guys. And also, happy Valentine's Day to the Long Beach community. I wish nothing but the best, and hope everyone stays healthy this year.
Hi, my stinky boy Banks. I just want to let you know you're my forever boy. Love you, Pepperoni. Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's to all those who are taken, almost taken for granted, waiting to be taken, assumed to be taken, and those who aren't taken seriously. You are loved. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine to a special Ginger. Happy Valentine.
Happy Valentine's Day. This is a day to think about the people we love. And I would like to express my love for my wonderful family. Each person is special to me, and I love you all very much. again, happy Valentine's Day.
Would you marry me? Beep. Nah, psych. I don't want to. But anyways, happy Valentine's to everybody.
This is a message from Jose Manuel Lopez Beltran. And I'm just going to tell you what love really means to me. Everybody wants love, but they're failing one thing. You have to give love before you get love. And that's when love makes love. Always say what's on your mind. If you love somebody, tell them. If you don't love them, you don't have to. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's worked for me. Ay, ay, ay.
Hi, this is to my wife on Valentine's Day. When I say I love you, it's not out of habit, but to remind you and myself that you make me a better person. And you're the best thing that has ever happened to me. Love always, your husband.
Thank you guys again for listening. And I'm going to change up my motto for this show because it's been such a loving show. I usually say if you have to speak a word, make it a good one. But if you have to speak a word, make it a loving one. We'll see you next time.